Chapter 4. Variables. As explained in previous chapters of this series, BPMN-RPA is a library for process flow automation with Python. Visual flows can be created with the freely available Draw.io application, Microsoft Visio or BPMN-RPA Studio. The BPMN-RPA library provides a basic set of shapes for creating these flows, and in any of these applications mentioned you can also create additional shape libraries yourself. In the previous chapter we have shown that by setting the right attributes for a shape, we can set a reference to Python modules, classes and functions. Of course we want to be able to create complex flows. Therefore we need to have a way to pass objects that are created in one shape to the successive shape in the flow. Variables are the solution. To distinguish variables from other text components, we need to use a specific notation. In BPMN-RPA, variables must always start and end with a %. For example, if you want to create a variable called test, then the variable will look like $test, %. Let's look at an example of a flow where one shape passes a variable to another. We start by dragging the start shape onto the canvas. Next we'll drag the create variable shape to the canvas next to the start shape. Search for the message box shape and place it to the right of the create variable shape. Then we end the flow with the end shape. Now connect all shapes to complete the flow. Take a look at the attributes of the create variable shape. You will see that this shape has an output variable field that says $variable %. Please pay attention to the output variable field. This is the field that will hold the variable in which the output of the executed code is stored. To assign a value to this variable we will enter the text hello world into the value field and click on the apply button. In the attributes of the message box shape we will use this variable as the message text. You can combine normal text with variables. In this example we'll have the message box show a message with the text I just want to say hello world. Therefore we will enter the words I just want to say in the message field, followed by variable %. In the title field we enter the text, flow example. Again we click on the apply button. Now our flow is ready to be tested, so we save the flow to our temp folder and name the flow messagebox.xml. Open a command prompt and navigate to the temp folder. Enter the BPMN-RPA starter module followed by messagebox.xml and press the enter key. The flow is executed and our message box is shown. This is pretty straightforward, but we can do even more. Let's open the attributes of the create variables shape and let's create an object instead of plain text. The create variable shape allows us to create a list, so set the value for the convert the list field to true. We place a comma between the words hello and world. Now a list will be created from a comma-separated string with two values, hello and world. Let's apply this and open the attributes of the message box shape. We can reference any list item by using the zero-based index of the item we want to retrieve from the list. The index of the item must be placed between straight brackets before the closing %. Let's retrieve the last word, world. We place a 1 between straight brackets before the closing % to retrieve the second word from the list. Click on apply and run the example. That wasn't all. Return to the create variable shape attributes once more. Now we will enter a dictionary string into the value field with values first and hello as first key value pair, and second and world as second key value pair. Apply the changes and reopen the attributes of the message box shape. Please pay close attention. If you want to set a reference to an attribute of an object that is passed as a variable, you may refer to it by placing a dot and the name of the attribute after the variable name and before the closing %. If we want to refer to the word, world, then the variable used will look like this, $variable.second, %. We'll click on apply and again run the example. The BPMN-RPA workflow engine has also some static system variables that you can work with. An extensive list of these variables is available in the documentation of the BPMN-RPA library. System variables must start with a % and 2 underscores, and end with 2 underscores and a %. For demonstration purposes, we'll change the message of the message box to today's date. To conclude this chapter, we have seen that, to pass an object from one shape in the flow to another, we will have to use variables. Variables start and end with a %. When the variable contains the list, we can refer to an item in the list by using the zero-based index of the item between straight brackets right before the closing %. When the variable contains an object with attributes, we can refer to the attribute by placing a dot after the variable name, followed by the name of the attribute and closed with a %. When we are referring to a system variable, the variable must start with a % and 2 underscores, and closed with 2 underscores and a %. This concludes our lesson on variables. Thank you for watching.